probable paternity, 99.99999%.
Percent what?
Yes, he's your father. Right there.
I'm going to text you.
And her. She's trying to break up with me.
Hey, my name's Kirk. Hey, didn't know.
I didn't, man. And had I known, you would have known. And I would have been a...
Probability of paternity?
Yes, ma'am.
100%. How's that possible? It's not, baby. I can swear on my dead mother's grave, Rick Hubbard is not your father. I don't know what happened, how this paternity test came back 99.95%. But I really would like to get to the bottom of it. This I cannot accept because this is not true. And I apologize from the bottom of my heart on this.
Two tests that I put in front of you. I need to hear you. I need to hear you clearly. The little Kirk, the little boy Kirk needs to hear you. Are you saying that you reject the results of these two tests? That's what I need to hear.
Yes. My denial, is that going to put a wedge between you and I?
Yes. Okay. Yes. If you can't give me this, no hug, no word of encouragement, no sugar, no joke, nothing can substitute what I deserve and what I've needed and what I've missed.
He just wants the truth. The DNA. The DNA. The DNA. Yes.
I need my mama to give me.
And I need my son too. I have wanted this so badly.
If my mama watches this, I want her to know.
And I still can't have you.
I mean this in the most nicest way possible that I could say it. But man, what are you crying for? Is it the shame? Is it the shame? Is it the embarrassment? Is it guilt? Is it that you tried to hold this lie for as long as you could, and now, you know, it has been served back to you on a silver platter on a public platform from your child, that he done put all of your transgressions out there for the world to see? Is that what the tears are about? If you guys don't know what's going on, I'm going to have the link to the full video so you guys can see it. But gospel singer Kirk Franklin has just revealed that he, at his big age, has just met his father this year. Now, from what, the bits and pieces that I've seen, a lot of stuff I didn't even know. He grew up, I believe, with a family friend or with like a distant relative. He did not grow up with his parents. He was told that, I believe one person might have been his father, and that person obviously was not his father. And then there was rumors circulating that it could have been this one particular man. And the man was basically like, well, I'll do a DNA test. I don't know if that's my child, but if it is, I believe that person would deserve to know. Basically saying, I know that I was with his mom. Okay, so it could be my child. It could not be my child, but I'm going to play my part. I think it's so interesting just watching the clip of how the reaction from Kirk's biological father, as well as the reaction from his mother, the man took a DNA test, swabbed his mouth, and he didn't have anything. He didn't have a dog in the fight. Okay, it was not like, he was being burdened down. Nobody was begging him. It was not a situation that he had to go on the limb and say, oh, all the odds are against me. I better do this so I can achieve this, or so that people can look at me in a certain light. He just did it out of, okay, well, let's see. I'll stand in the gap for him. It could be my child. I don't know, but if the rumors are true, I want to find out. I want to know if that's my son or not. And then when Kirk met him at his home and revealed the results to him, we literally see this man sitting on the couch crying. Apologetic. Listen to this. This man is sitting on the couch crying and apologetic, saying, Kirk, I am so sorry. And if I knew this from a long time ago, I would have been in your life. I would have stood in the gap for you. I would have raised you. You would have never grown up fatherless. I would have been there for you. He is crying from remorse. He's crying from regret. And this man had no idea. He didn't even know this was a possibility. And he's crying out of remorse, apologetic to this son who he's just now meeting, who he owes nothing to. He obviously has done well for himself. We see his father. He looks like he lives in a very comfortable space. He doesn't look like he's, trying to just save face or cry because he want to come up. Which in most men, if we want to be honest, the majority of men, they rather, do things on their own anyway. But I'm just saying, for the people who would say that. He's so genuine in saying, I apologize to you. He goes and sits down with his mom on the couch. And whoever else that the other person is in the video. I don't know, maybe the other person in the video was like emotional support for the mom. And she done put it on people's grave. Listen. Can we just talk about the lengths that women will go? She done put on somebody. She looked at her son right in his face and said, I can guarantee. I don't know how this happened. I'm going to sue the people at the DNA clinic. Because this is a lie. This is a bold-faced lie. We got to take another DNA test because I know for a fact that this man, first and last name, he definitely is not the father. He could never be. Demands that they take a next DNA test. They take the second DNA test. And she's still in denial. Oh, no, I don't accept this. Just because you don't accept it does not mean that it's not true. And have the nerve to be sitting here boo-hoo crying. And again, that's why I said, is it the shame? Is it the guilt? Is it the embarrassment? Because the crying is this is just what a lot of women do. When women get backed into a corner that they cannot, deflect, they can't try to pick another situation. They can't try to, point the finger or point the blame at somebody else. When the light is shining directly on them and they can't find a way to get out of it. What do they stick to? Crying. Because, I'm his mom and I'm crying and I'm emotional and hopefully he'll feel sorry for me and forget about all the hurt and the pain that I just caused to him. And now he'll focus on me because I'm hurting and I'm crying and I'm sad. And that will mend, our relationship without me having to do the due diligence and being accountable for my actions or given the apology that I know that this child deserves. We see it time and time again. What's heartbreaking is that, in society, at large. It's always talk about the deadbeat daddy, or the daddy who wouldn't do this, and the daddy who wasn't there, and the daddy who this. Everybody always puts the blame on the father. But you see, there's some mothers out there. Everybody thinks that once you have the title mother, that means that you are without spot or wrinkle. You're perfect. You can't do nothing wrong. You are just, because you are the one who pushed this baby out, that you are just the goddess, Mother Earth. And you can't possibly be trifling. And that's not true. Some of these women, they wreak so much havoc in their son's life because they portrayed to be this whole image of who they are, and they're the best, and they're this, and they don't lie, and they don't do anything wrong, and everything is about, well, I was just trying to do the best for you. Everything is about that. They will literally go to bat for all women. Oh, women are queens, and women are this, and women are that, because they're thinking of their mom in the back of their mind, or they're thinking about, oh, well, she did this, and so I have to look at women with this esteem because that's how my mama raised me. And then things don't get real until the same mama bamboozles you or tricks you, or you find out certain things and you say, oh, wow. You see, it's bad enough when a man gets his heart broken, or when a man realizes the certain negative traits of a woman, the certain, ill nature that some women have within them. It's bad enough when a man learns that in his growing phase as he's trying to vet women, trying to date women. But you see, do you understand how hurtful that is when the woman who teaches you that hurt, that pain of you can't trust women, or you have to look at women, keenly. You can't just go off of what a woman says. You can't just trust a woman that's crying. You know how hurtful it is when that woman that you feel that emotion to is your mother? That affects the way that you maneuver in life. That affects the relationships that you get into. That affects your marriages. That affects the way that you raise your children. That affects the way that you maneuver in society. We have to have these conversations and push women to be accountable for their actions, because there's a lot of women who get pregnant and they know who the daddy is, but they don't think that he's the best suitor. Or he maybe, don't want her like that. Maybe she was just a girl for the weekend. And then they have another guy in mind and say, oh, well, he seems reliable. Oh, well, he loves me. Oh, well, he want to be with me. He seemed like a good guy. I'm just going to say this his baby. And they know. Selfish. It's not about you. It's not about your feelings. It's not about, listen, if you did not want so-and-so to be the baby's father, you should have took some kind of contraceptives. You have a whole bunch of methods. You should have told him to put a hat on. You have control over who is with you intimately. You could have told him, put a hat on. You knew there was a possibility. You thought he was good enough for you to lay in the bed with, but you didn't think that he was good enough to be a father to your child. You should have thought about that before you even got in the bed. Knowing what the possibilities could lead to. It don't matter if you think he's the best looking. It don't matter if you don't like him afterwards. It don't matter if the two of y'all are cool and all of a sudden, you realize that he's not your cup of tea. That none of that matters. Because at the end of the day, that's still that child's father. And you can't change that. And that child deserves to know the other side of himself. Do you know how important it is? I don't think a lot of people realize this, but do you know how important it is to know both of your parents? Not only for how you develop it as a human being, but also like health-wise. As you get older, you go to the doctor and they ask you certain questionnaires like, does these kind of things, run in your family from your paternal side or from your maternal side? And, when you're sitting there and you're answering these questions, you can only base it off of one thing. There are some things that you need to step in front of. And the only way you would know is by having a relationship with the other side of yourself. And that's a very small portion of why it's important. I can only fathom how hurtful this was for him to see his mother in this light. But I think that he decided to film this to bring awareness for other people so that they don't feel alone. This is heartbreaking. This is very heartbreaking. No, I'm not saying that anybody is perfect. I'm not saying that, people haven't done things in the past that maybe they wouldn't be ashamed of or anything like that, or embarrassed of. But at the end of the day, when your child is looking at you and you know that there's a possibility and you are looking him dead in his eye and you were saying absolutely not, you putting it on people gray, you saying all kinds of stuff instead of saying, I'm not going to lie, it could be a possibility. And I'm sorry we didn't have this conversation sooner. And you know what? I apologize. Instead of being accountable, you're going to stand over there wrong and strong. I would like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.